Hello everyone and welcome to my second video about a game of hacks and the first from the new hacks YouTube channel that I invite you to follow. Ever since this game stopped living inside my head and took the form of a website server, I got a chance to play dozens of games against various players and make lots of discoveries about this game. Most of them would probably be found out later to be wrong when I become a bit better, but what I want today is to show you the few basic stuff that I feel are important for every new player in this game. So let's delete the board and show you the first one, which is this triangle. What does it mean? Well, I call it an eye, like in Go. It means that this group will never be able to be captured because the red player can never play inside because it will be dead. I hope you know already the rules of the game. If not, there is another video about it. Even if the red player circles around all those stones, it still doesn't matter because he will never be able to play inside. That's why this triangle is alive. I will call it an eye from now on. Using eyes can be very useful in a lot of different uh, ways. I will show you one of them now. It's very interesting actually. At this point, it is the blue player's turn, and you can see that in the next turn of the red will be able to capture the blue stone here. Now, some of you might think that the way to defend would be to just connect all stones, but actually, the blue player has a better way, and it is to make an eye here, because at this point, all those three stones are connected, and the red player can never play inside. So it's a better way of connecting your stones. One more thing about the triangle, the eye shape, is that it's actually a key point for both players. If we take a look at the different, how will I show it? I think I will do it like this. If we take a look at this position, and it's the red's turn, and the red really wants to make the eye because he feels like his stones are unsafe, and he's actually true. He's actually right, because if he doesn't defend, and the blue player plays the same place, now if the red player wants to connect, then he will have to actually connect his stones. And by doing so, you see that the red player only has two liberties now, and he will be in deep troubles. This is actually the next shape that I want to talk to you about, and it is the ladders. What does the ladder mean? It means that actually in the game of Hex, whenever you attach an opponent's stone, you're probably wrong to do so, because what a blue player can do now is to threaten to capture the red stone, and if the red tries to escape, he can just keep doing so. He can actually steer wheel this to any direction he wants. It's quite amazing. Until in the end, when he's tired, he can just capture it all. This is what a ladder means in the game of Hex, and it's quite powerful, so you need to remember not to attach stones unless you actually know what you're doing. I will actually show you one example of this that is very nice. In in the not in the next, I'll show you the next one first. The next one would be the first line stones. You can see that in the game of Hex, every stone you place affects three triangles, but the first line stone, say this one, only affects two of them. So why play there, you ask? Well, those stones have a very nice feature, and it is that they're alive by default. I'm talking about those stones, not those, because this is just okay. Talking about first line stones that affect two hexagons. What's so special about them is that they're alive by default. See, let's say the red players has a very nice formation here, very thick line. At this point, you might think, okay, that seems to be the reds, and you're actually right, because maybe the blue player won't be able to take any of the hexagons. But one thing he can do is to live inside it. This way, how come this is alive? You ask. Well, you see that in the next turn, the blue player has two options to make an eye. He can make it here. See, the one inside is an eye. He can also make it here. So he has two options, and the red player can only block one of them. If he blocks here, then, well, you're alive. At this point, it doesn't matter that much, because you see that even though the blue player is alive, he still haven't taken any points from the red player. But in different boards, it can be very effective actually. So the last thing I want to talk to you about is actually for dessert. It's something that I found out about the connection between those two stones. Now let's say that the red player has some stones around and it wants to attack those two stones. So one thing that comes pretty natural to you at this point, I hope, is to just play between the two stones. Now this is a deep, deep mistake. Why is it a mistake, you ask? Because at this point, I actually told you about letters and how attaching stones is so bad. But at this point, attaching the stone actually kills red. Why is it killing him? Well, if the red players try to initiate a ladder now, say from here or from here, has two options, but either one is the same because it's like a mirror. So it tries one of them, the blue player just escapes. And at this point, you see that there is a trouble because the red player cannot keep the ladder. If he plays from here, then the blue player just makes an eye, and that's over. And this stone cannot escape, right? And what if he tries from, well, the other direction? You already see that it doesn't work because it's captured. So it's actually a very nice thing that I found out. That's why I like playing this gap in my games often. Well, I think that's all for today. So thanks for watching, everyone. I really invite you to come and join us in hecks.space and have a nice day.